What's going on, guys? It's about 1:30 on a Sunday. We're about to jump in the car and try and hit the first In-N-Out in Colorado. It has been crazy all weekend, so we'll see what happens if we show up at a weird time. We just exited Alameda, which is the exit that the In-N-Out is on, and we're already slowing down. I saw some cops directing traffic and some signs saying that heavy traffic was expected. So let's see if we make it. There it is. It looks like a concert. We'll see how it goes. Greetings from Colorado, I'm Dave, and by now chances are you've heard about the first two In-N-Outs that opened in Colorado, and you've heard about the 14-hour waits and fistfights that came along with it. So while you know how this story ends because of the title of this video, I wanted to make this video as a public service announcement and share our experience with the drive-thru for anybody who was thinking about going to an In-N-Out in 2020. I lived in California for 15 years and I've probably had In-N-Out about 100 times in my life, so that made it a lot easier for me to bail from the drive-thru at the Aurora location. After you watch this video, I hope it saves you a few hours of your life. Also, I don't think In-N-Out is actually that much better than Shake Shack or even Whataburger, but there's not really that much to do right now during Corona times, so we just kind of went for it. So if you're thinking of hitting an In-N-Out in Colorado anytime in 2020 or maybe in the next few following months, here's what to expect. So first, we use the strategy that we use all the time with restaurants that we know are going to be busy, showing up at a very weird non-meal time. We planned on getting to In-N-Out around 2 o'clock on a Sunday, which meant that it wasn't lunch, it wasn't dinner, and the early crowd would have already left. It seemed like a pretty sound strategy, and we were prepared to wait for about 2 hours. We had a baby in the car, so we were a little bit time capped, but really nothing compares to an In-N-Out opening. A lot of people in Colorado have been commenting about how In-N-Out should learn something from Chick-fil-A about how to move a drive-thru line. These people have no idea how busy an In-N-Out actually is. If you take a Chick-fil-A drive-thru at its absolute busiest time, that's what an In-N-Out drive-thru is like during its quietest time of the day, at like 3:15 p.m. They do all of the same things that Chick-fil-A does in lines. There are people who are taking your orders with iPads well before you get to the speaker, and they are seriously hustling inside. They are efficient, but the least popular In-N-Out is probably 5 times busier than your average Chick-fil-A. This is a whole different level of busy. When you arrive at the Aurora location, which is right by the mall off the Alameda exit, you'll pass the restaurant and you'll wind around the parking lot until you end up in some standby lines. If you've ever parked for a football game or somewhere outside for a giant concert, it's pretty much the same and moves at a similar pace. If the mall wasn't closed right now, I actually don't know how they would make this work. These lines are in multiple lanes of unused parking in the parking lot, and one by one they funnel towards what you think is the main line towards the drive-thru. It's not the main line. By this point, I'm realizing that this is going to take a while, and I actually have to check to make sure we had enough gas to make it to the window. When you're in what you think is the main line and you're slowly making progress towards the In-N-Out, you'll start to see cars turning around and bailing from the line. First, you'll think, why would you quit? You can see the restaurant. Why would you turn around now? You will think this, and you will be wrong. You'll also see cars that unfortunately entered on the wrong side of the mall, so they have to pass you and go all the way around to the back of the line. As you're making your way towards the restaurant, you'll think we're in pretty good shape as long as we can continue going straight towards the restaurant and they don't Disneyland us and wrap the line around somehow. Those are famous last words. What actually happens is worse than being Disneylanded. You get pulled over into a separate parking lot where you're not even moving, you're just parked. It's kind of like when you land in a foreign country and you walk out of the airport and you see a sea of taxis that are just parked there doing nothing. You ask yourself, what are these people doing all day? It's kind of like that, except you know exactly what these people are doing. All of these cars have people in them. Some of the people are asleep, most of them look grumpy, all of them look incredibly bored. As soon as you park in this parking lot, you have about a 2 to 3 hour wait ahead of you, so everyone is starting to ask themselves if this was a good idea, and they're wondering what they did with their lives to get to this point. Now, there isn't a whole lot to do these days, so that almost makes this a worthwhile activity, but we're talking about a 4-hour wait for a fast food meal. The only time that I voluntarily waited 3 hours for a burger was at Au Cheval in Chicago, but that was right after they were named the best burger in the United States. But even with that, we were allowed to leave and then come back. Our friend put in our name, we went and saw a comedy show across town, we took a taxi back to the restaurant and waited another 45 minutes, and it was a really good burger in a sit-down restaurant. Is In-N-Out with a 4-hour wait worth it? Absolutely not. Eventually, this In-N-Out is going to normalize and have a 15 to 30 minute wait like other In-N-Outs around the country, but for now, this is not something that almost anyone should subject themselves to. So after we made it to the parking lot and realized that we were going to be waiting upwards of about 4 hours for our meal, we bailed. We ended up going to Popeyes and getting chicken sandwiches, which I ordered on my phone and picked up at the drive-thru in about 1 minute. But, of course, in the most 2020 of all things, the drink machine was broken at Popeyes. Anyways, I hope that you enjoyed this public service announcements on how drive-thrus are working at In-N-Outs in Colorado right now. If you've made it this far, please give this video a thumbs up or share it with a friend. That'll help YouTube show this video to more people in Colorado to help them decide if they think that this trip is worth taking. And really, I just hope that it saves people a whole lot of time. Also, if you've never had In-N-Out, you can order the same thing that I do when you're finally able to go, which is a double meal with extra toasted buns, chopped chilies, mustard instead of spread, well-done fries with a side of spread, and a Coke to drink. Order it like you've had it before and enjoy what I think is the best way to have your In-N-Out. So In-N-Out, welcome to Colorado. Clearly, a lot of us are very happy that you're here, but I'll see you in 2021.